Seekers, we are here in beautiful Venice Beach, right by the boardwalk, with amazingly talented street artist Lazer, in front of and actually sitting on an installation that he did just for us. So thank you so much for that. That's super
Thanks.
cool. And thank you for being here.
This is great.
So tell us, how did you come up with your moniker?
I was living in New York in 2005 and riding on the train, and a guy had this laser pointer. He's pointing at my eye, going, "Laser, laser, laser." And I went to work the next day, and it was Lazer.
That's awesome, and so New York. So tell us about the installation that we're sitting on, and how you found these materials and what it means.
Well, this project is a piece of a lot of different installation pieces. This is kind of like a miniature house I was building, and it's kind of just been a more of a mobile sculpture, sort of changing over time.
It seems like you are really into dwellings in these architectural spaces and kind of finding found objects on the street and then creating them into these little mini worlds. And I'm just wondering if you think that's a fair assessment of your work and where that may come from.
Sure. I mean, I love architecture, I love film, and things just speak to me. Different objects just speak to me, and I think that they're very, kind of start a conversation. It's almost easier to talk about things when you have an object in front of you.
I think that's true, and an object not only in front of you, but one that's participatory, that you can sit on, that you can live in. And especially noting where we are now, do people ever try to live inside your dwellings?
I've never heard of anybody living inside of one. That's the idea.
What do you think is next for Lazer? What sort of direction is your work going in?
My work has been going into sculpture. I'm also, been doing a lot of sewing and upholstery work. Having a lot of fun with that.
Oh, that's so neat. Did you do any of that for this installation? Is there anything?
There's nothing actually. Well, I put down this fake grass.
That's like an upholstery, right? Upholstery in space.
Yeah, stapled it down.
That's so cool. So you are known for these big, screaming, visceral figures, and the screaming face. And I'm wondering, what do you imagine they're screaming about?
It's changed for me over the years. I came up with the image when I was 16. There's a lot of things, a lot of changes that were happening, and I think it's a self-portrait, and that's what started as a self-portrait. But now it's turned into more of a symbol, and I let people kind of take, come up with their own, ideas of what it means.
Have you heard any really cool ones of how people have interpreted it?
Oh, people have said, "Is that Shepard Fairey's work?" No, or "That looks like a dog." Or, "Is that a jazz singer? I know I've seen that person." So it's a silent sound, and I feel it's searching for his voice, and the voice is out there. It's kind of empathizing with the struggles of being an artist or humanity in general.
Well, me being a huge art history nerd, I of course saw Munch's The Scream and thought that it was a street translation of that kind of agony and that sort of primal emotion.
That's so cool. That's definitely there.
I love that. And the image is actually of you?
The image is actually of me. It's been processed, and it was just a Xerox of my face. I just screamed into the Xerox machine and did a drawing of that, and then took a picture of it, and then painted over that. And it's just, they're all slightly different. So I don't know if the original piece actually exists.
How do you scout out your locations?
Sometimes I just see a location. I'm like, I've got to make something specific for that. A lot of the times I just you know, I work with anything and everything that I have. So I'll choose things based off the colors or where I happen to be at the moment. So I just, you know, everything is a conscious, intended sort of action, you know.
And I love how organic it seems your process is. You use found objects from the site. You let yourself be inspired naturally by your surroundings. And I think that really makes your work incredibly successful because it doesn't feel manipulated.
Thank you.
It's sort of like an outgrowth of a space that already existed.
That's well put.
And have you had any tricky run-ins with the loft?
You know, I was thinking about that, and there was only one time when I was living in New York, and I was drawing laser beams coming out of this iPod poster, and before I knew it, I mean, like a hand came out of the wall, and it just took me in, you know, right then and there, and I was like, wow, New York isn't really what I thought it was. Imagine graffiti artists everywhere and people painting.
Yeah, exactly. With Keith Haring on the subway, it's
right.
such an open environment for graffiti, but not really.
But otherwise, I like to think that I'm pretty conscious and aware, and I like to be casual about it. I think your attitude has a lot to do with how people treat you or think your intentions may be. But mainly just been more of a danger to my own self in certain situations.
Well, then you know that you're onto something good.
I hope so. You know, there's, you know, the road to destruction is paved in good intentions.